Welcome to the deep dive. We take complex source material, we break it down, and really pull out the insights that matter for you.
And today, we've got something, well, pretty unusual.
Yeah, it started as an exploration of a suspense novel, the praise, the characters, the setup, but then the whole thing just spiraled.
Right into this intricate, real-life crime story involving the author himself. It's, yeah, very meta.
So our mission today.
Well, we need to unpack this really chilling case. It's about how a fictional murder method, like a blueprint for killing, seems to jump right off the page.
Off a manuscript page and into the real world. Deadly.
Exactly. We'll explore the betrayal, the family trauma, and really what happens when creative genius hits, brutal reality.
Okay, let's dive in. We need context first. The author whose work sparked this, Brandilyn Collins, what's her reputation? What did the critical praise tell us?
She's seen as a real master of suspense, of the thriller genre. Critics consistently highlight the intensity.
Intensity,
Like, the excitement kicks off right on page one. It's fast-paced, thrilling. They talk about chilling mystery and gut-wrenching suspense.
Okay, so high tension.
Definitely. But what's interesting, especially considering the dark themes, betrayal, evil, is that she's also praised for weaving faith into the story.
Faith and suspense together.
Yeah, expertly done, apparently. So it's psychological tension, but with real thematic depth, high-stakes stuff.
That definitely sets a dramatic stage. Now let's get to the figure inside this fictional narrative we started with. Darell Brooke, or D.
Yes, D. The king of suspense.
I mean, the stats are incredible. 77 years old, 99 novels.
Over 100 billion copies sold.
21 movies made from his books. A giant, but he's in crisis mode when we meet him.
A really terrifying crisis for a writer. 2 years before, he was in this bad car accident.
Right, the MTBI, mild traumatic brain injury.
Exactly. And for someone who crafts complex plots for a living, losing your balance, your memory, concentration, it's catastrophic.
The source material says he's, wielding a mere fraction of the brain power he used to have?
Yeah, just devastating. He's basically crippled as a writer.
A suspense author who can't sustain suspense. And he's trying to write his 100th novel.
Trying, yes. But he can only manage these scattered, unfinished scenes. He can't connect the dots anymore.
So what happens to the work when the genius, falters like that?
Well, the work itself becomes fragmented.
Yeah.
And maybe reflects his own state. The villain he's struggling to write is Leland Hugh, a strangler.
Okay.
But D isn't just focused on what Hugh does. He's digging into the why.
Yeah.
Hugh, the character, says he hears the dead knocking.
Knocking from under his jail cell floor. Creepy.
Yeah, he thinks they want his soul because he, took theirs. It's heavy stuff.
And D's writing this diagnosis into the draft. Extreme guilt syndrome. EGS.
EGS, exactly. And we should pause on that for a second. This isn't just some catchy name for a villain.
No.
No, Dee's trying to write about someone self-destructing from this massive internal guilt. It feels thematic.
Thematic how?
Well, the king of suspense is himself battling this breakdown, right? From the trauma, maybe, but maybe also from some latent guilt about sacrificing family for his career.
So his inability to finish writing about Hugh's guilt mirrors his own inability to confront his life.
That seems plausible, doesn't it? The fictional guilt reflecting a real need for something. Redemption, maybe.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But then everything Dee thought he knew about crime, about plotting, it just shatters.
Completely shatters. Because the fiction literally walks off the page.
And into his granddaughter's life. This is where the worlds collide, right?
Precisely. We meet Kaitlan Saring, Dee's gran, after she's young, 22 or 23, hairstylist.
And crucially, she's pregnant.
Yeah, and worried. Financially insecure, feeling abandoned by her family. A family led by the great but distant Dee Brooke.
So she goes back to her apartment in Gaynor, California.
And finds a dead woman on her bed, strangled.
Just horrific. But the real terror, the click, comes from one tiny detail, doesn't it?
The detail. That's the absolute key.
Yeah.
The victim was strangled using a black silk cloth with green stripes.
Not just any cloth.
No. And this was the third killing like that in the area in the last year.
And Kaitlan, even though she's estranged from Dee, she knows his work. She recognizes that exact description.
The black silk, the green stripes. It's a detail from her grandfather's unpublished fragmented manuscript, the one he can barely work on, untitled MS.
The fictional method is real, and it's in her apartment.
And her suspicion immediately, instantly locks onto her boyfriend, Craig Barlow.
Craig, the 25-year-old cop.
Yeah. She knows the link to Dee's work, and she just thinks, Craig must be the copycat killer.
Let's tick through the evidence against Craig, because for Kaitlan, it looks bad. Really bad.
It does. First off, he had a key to her place.
Okay.
And she finds his pen there, an expensive engraved one. Proof he was inside that day.
That's damning. What else?
Well, Craig wasn't just some casual reader of D. Brooke. He was a huge fan, an intense fan.
Right, and he was writing his own suspense novel.
Get this from the killer's point of view. First person.
Oof. Okay, that's a massive red flag right there.
Huge. But maybe the worst part, he knew things. Privileged information.
Because he's a cop. And the chief's son.
Exactly. He knew details about the first two murders, including that specific black and green silk fabric, stuff the public didn't know.
And he called her that day, checking up on her.
Yeah, while she was supposed to be at work, Kaitlan said his tone was hard, suspicious, like he was confirming her alibi or lack of one.
Everything points to him. Stealing the idea, killing those women. Kaitlan must have been terrified.
Desperate. So despite the family issues, she goes to the one person who might understand the manuscript connection. She goes to D. Brooke.
How does he react, given his condition?
Initially, he dismisses her. I mean, his memory's shot. He probably thinks she's panicking.
Understandable, maybe.
But then she mentions the detail. The black silk, the green stripes.
And that cuts to the fog.
Instantly, his failing memory just snaps into focus on that. He realizes someone must have gotten into his files, hacked his computer, his cloud storage, something.
To steal that unique fictional weapon.
Yes. And this is where D, the writer, the plotter, kind of takes over from D, the patient with the brain injury.
He decides he has to handle it himself, like one of his plots.
It seems like it. Maybe it's that old king of suspense hubris kicking in. The same drive that maybe cost him his family connection in the first place.
So what's his plan? It sounds dangerous.
Oh, it's incredibly reckless. He decides to bypass the police entirely. I mean, the suspect is the chief's son, so maybe that's part of it.
Okay.
His plan is to lure Craig to his house. He tells Craig he wants to give him advice on Craig's own manuscript.
A pretense.
Totally. Then he plans to confront him, accuse him of the hacking, the theft from his work, and use that as leverage.
Leverage for what?
To force a confession to the murders on film. Threaten him with going to the sheriff otherwise.
Wow. That is intricate and risky. What about Kaitlan in all this?
Things get even worse for her. She goes back to her apartment. The body's gone.
Gone.
Vanished. The place has been cleaned. Craig admits he moved the body.
He admits it.
Yeah, and then threatens her. Tells her if she breathes a word, he'll plant drugs in her car, send her back to jail. She has a prior minor offense, apparently.
So she's trapped, pregnant, terrified, and forced to pretend everything's normal with the guy she thinks is a killer.
Exactly. She has to play this horrible charade, as the source calls it, of being his girlfriend while carrying his child.
Unbelievable pressure. So the confrontation Dee planned, does it happen?
It does. But not how Dee planned it. Craig shows up hours early, catches Dee totally off guard.
Oh, no.
The confrontation is fast, intense. Dee lays it out: the hacking, stealing from my work, the fabric, the women, the trophy photo.
There were trophy photos?
Yeah, Kaitlan found photos Craig had taken of the victims. Stupid mistake by him, but crucial evidence for her.
Okay, so Dee presents all this. Craig must realize he's caught, right?
He realizes it's a setup. But he wasn't coming to confess.
What does he do?
He pulls a gun.
He brought a gun. He knew.
Seems like it. He knew it was a trap.
Yeah.
Demands Dee bring Kaitlan in. The tension just skyrockets.
Okay. So this is it, the climax.
But then comes the real twist. The one even the king of suspense didn't plot.
Which is?
Craig didn't do it. He wasn't the killer.
What? Then who?
He was covering up. Desperately.
Desperately.
His sister, Hallie Barlow.
Hallie, Craig's sister. What was her role?
She was the killer. And Hallie, well, ironically, she was a counselor for dysfunctional families.
A counselor for dysfunctional families is the serial killer. You can't make this stuff up.
Real life, stranger than fiction, right?
Yeah.
Craig, the cop, was throwing everything away: his career, Kaitlan, his integrity to protect Hallie, his reason. Anything for family.
Wow. That's a twisted kind of loyalty. So Hallie's the killer. But the method, the silk cloth, Dee was sure it came from his new manuscript, the hacked one. Was he right about that?
He was completely wrong about the source.
Wrong.
Hallie confessed. She didn't get the idea from the untitled MS he was working on. She got it from one of Dee's much older books.
An old book. Which one?
Life After Death. Published 35 years earlier.
35 years. So Dee Brooke was obsessed with this idea of a high-tech manuscript theft.
Thinking the danger was current, linked to his fragile state now.
when the actual blueprint came from his own past work decades ago.
Exactly. The irony is just staggering. His own history came back to bite him and his family.
And Hallie's motive, why target those women?
It seems tied to her own past trauma, childhood abandonment issues. Her mother left the family. Hallie targeted women she saw as unfit mothers.
And she kept a journal.
Yeah, documenting the whole spiral. She called it obsession.
Good grief. Okay, so the confrontation ends violently, right? Let's recap the immediate aftermath.
Right, it blew up. D. Brooke gets shot in the shoulder.
Okay.
Craig gets shot, too, in the upper intestine by a reporter, Ed Wazinski, who was apparently there and acted in self-defense during the chaos.
Reporter was there, too.
Okay.
And Hallie.
Hallie confesses. Arrested. 3 counts of first-degree murder.
And the father, Chief Barlow.
He resigns. Clearly, he knew more than he let on, protected his kids. The whole thing implodes.
So, connecting this back, the biggest impact seems to be on Darell Brooke himself. This whole nightmare, it actually helped him.
In a profound way, yes. It seems like the shock, the violence, nearly losing Kaitlan, it forced him to confront, well, everything.
The wreckage of his life.
Exactly. He realized he'd spent his life building these vain empires, as the source puts it, through his writing, trampling over people, family.
And the trauma somehow cleared his head. The MTBI.
It seems that way. The source suggests this raw, visceral experience restored his sense of purpose. And crucially, his concentration, his focus came back.
So the crisis, the guilt over Kaitlan, the need to protect her, that gave him clarity.
It really did. The source confirms it. He goes back to his computer, ready to work on Untitled MS again.
And he has a new focus on the villain, Leland Hugh, and EGS.
Yeah, with new insight, new resolve, determined to help Kaitlan rebuild. He got his genius back, not by solving some clever crime, but by finally facing his own deep personal guilt.
That really is the ultimate paradox here, isn't it? The king of suspense needed to feel real-life consequences, real guilt, real fear for his family.
To finally understand the darkness he'd only been writing about.
Leland Hugh, Dee's fictional creation, was tormented by extreme guilt syndrome. So here's the final thought for you to chew on.
Given everything we've unpacked about D. Brooke, the injury, the family trauma, the sudden confrontation with his own past work causing real death, you have to ask.
Did the king of suspense only manage to recover his creative power because this real-life horror finally gave him the depth of personal guilt, the purpose he desperately needed to understand his own fictional villain?
Did he need to face the consequences of his own life's narrative before he could truly finish writing Leland Hughes? Think about how often confronting our own past is the key to unlocking our present.